One of the hardest things you'll ever admit is that you stopped fighting for the relationship and started fighting the reality that it was already over. Nobody notices when it happens. It doesn't happen after one argument. It happens one compromise at a time, one more chance, one more promise, one more excuse you'll pretend to believe. Then one day you look in the mirror and realize you've become an expert at understanding someone who has never really tried to understand you. Here's the brutal truth. You cannot love someone into choosing you. Love cannot grow where choice doesn't exist. And every day you spend trying, you quietly stop choosing yourself. People call it loyalty, patience, commitment. Relationships take work. They do, but there's a difference between working with someone and working for someone who stopped showing up a long time ago. One builds a relationship, the other builds resentment. If you have to keep convincing someone to choose you, they're already making a choice. It just isn't the one you wanted. Accepting that hurts, but chasing someone who has emotionally checked out hurts much longer. Psychologist Harriet Lerner argues that clarity is kinder than false hope. Yet false hope is exactly what keeps people trapped. Not because they're weak, because hope feels safer than grief. Hope whispers, maybe next week, maybe after they heal, maybe when work gets easier. So you wait. Weeks become months. Months become years. While the relationship never actually moves, only your excuses do. Here's the twist. The relationship probably ended long before you admitted it. What kept it alive was your refusal to believe it. You weren't fighting for love anymore. You were fighting against reality. Those are completely different battles. One has a future. The other only has more waiting. So why is it so hard to leave? Because you're not just attached to the person. You're attached to the version of them that only exists in your imagination. The version that finally chooses you. The version that finally becomes emotionally available. The version that makes all your waiting feel worth it. But love doesn't survive on one day. It survives on today. Reality keeps disappointing you because it's competing with a fantasy. And fantasies never lose arguments. Psychologists have found that unrequited love often creates more distress than relationships that actually end. Because a breakup gives your brain an answer. One-sided love keeps giving it questions. Maybe I texted too much. Maybe I wasn't enough. Maybe if I tried harder. Notice who's always on trial. You, not them. That's how forcing love quietly destroys your self-worth. Eventually, you stop asking, are they right for me? And start asking, what do I need to fix so they'll finally choose me? That's the moment another person becomes the judge of your value. This is also where attachment psychology matters. People with anxious attachment often confuse inconsistency with intimacy. As Dr. Amir Levine explains, anxious attachment makes people become hyper-focused on signs of rejection and emotional distance. Then, intermittent reinforcement takes over. One warm day, followed by 3 cold ones. One heartfelt conversation, followed by silence. It's the same principle casinos use. You don't keep playing because you always win. You keep playing because sometimes you do. Relationships can trap people the same way. One small moment of affection convinces you everything is finally changing. Then it disappears. So you chase harder, not realizing you've become addicted to hope instead of love. Meanwhile, the other person keeps living exactly as they always have. But you're changing. You're lowering your standards. Celebrating basic respect as if it's extraordinary. Feeling guilty for asking to be loved consistently. The problem isn't that your expectations are too high. It's that your self-worth has adjusted to emotional crumbs. Here's the myth worth correcting before you go. Relationships take work does not mean one person carries all of it. Psychologist Dr. Gottman's research found that healthy relationships are built on mutual responsiveness. Both people repeatedly turning toward each other, not one person carrying the emotional weight while the other decides whether to participate. That's why forcing a relationship feels so lonely. You're building something with someone who isn't picking up the other end. Eventually, you collapse from carrying a weight that was never meant for one person. Ask yourself something uncomfortable. What has this relationship cost you, besides time, your confidence, your peace, your ability to trust yourself? How many times did your intuition whisper, this isn't enough, only for you to answer, maybe I'm expecting too much? You weren't. You were expecting reciprocity. That's not a luxury. It's the minimum requirement for love. One day you'll meet someone, and something will feel strangely unfamiliar. You won't have to decode mixed signals. You won't spend days wondering where you stand. You won't feel exhausted trying to keep their attention. Your nervous system might even mistake that peace for boredom. Don't run from it. Healthy love often feels unfamiliar to people who've spent years surviving unhealthy love. Not because healthy love is less exciting, but because anxiety has been pretending to be chemistry. So here's the only question that matters. Are you fighting for a relationship, or are you fighting against reality? Because those are not the same battle. One has a future. The other only has more waiting. Stop chasing potential. Start believing patterns. You deserve someone who chooses you without needing to be convinced, without needing years of proof, without needing you to become smaller just to fit inside their life. Love was never supposed to feel like an endless audition. The right person won't ask you to earn a place they've already decided to give you. And the moment you stop arguing with reality, you make room for someone who never expected you to.